Okay, Erika, thanks for joining us today. Welcome to Drip Talk.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So if you want to just start, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Erika. I cover Michigan, New York, and Vermont for Boshart. I've been in the industry of about 9 years. I started with Boshart in December. And I love to travel. And yeah,
That's a good position to be in then.
It really
if you
is.
love to travel.
Yes. I'm doing more traveling now, I think, than I've ever done, but I love it. It's so much fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
So maybe dive into a little bit more about how you originally got into the plumbing and water well industry.
Okay, so about 8 or 9 years ago, I was working for a company in New York, and they I can't, it's words. Can I start answering that again? I knew it was going to happen.
That's okay. You can keep going. You're good.
Oh my God. Okay. So I worked for a company and I got laid off, and I got hired at an independent manufacturer's rep in Rochester. And so I was there for, 8.5 years, and that really got me into the industry, and it's just been awesome. I'm thankful to be in the industry, and it's a great one to be a part of for sure.
What would you say is your favorite part about the industry?
I think the people, there's just so many great people that are in, mostly plumbing is where I came from, and I know it's a lot more well water now, but the wholesalers, the contractors, the manufacturers, everybody, all the people that I work with here and people on my team, they're quality, they work hard, they care about what they're doing, and it's a good industry to be in. You know?
And they make every day fun, not
Definitely.
feel like a, job, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
That's good. So maybe take us through, did you face any challenges early in your career being a woman in a traditionally male-focused industry?
Yeah, I think it's definitely noticeable how much more women are being accepted now than they were in the beginning. I started in inside sales at first, so I was really in the office. I wasn't out there, and kind of it always felt like the assumption was that women should kind of be in the office. That's what they're good at. That's where they are, and then the guys were outside, doing sales. And as I grew with the company and opportunities came up and I got to kind of go out and start meeting people, I realized how much fun that is to be face to face, not just calling people and emailing them. And it's a lot more personal when you're meeting an entire person and not just a voice or a name on a screen. So it's I think a lot more women are doing that now, and I think it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that the moment that kind of clicked for you that you were like, oh, I want to be in an outside sales, a traveling salesperson? Is that kind of that moment that clicked for you?
I think the more that I traveled, the more conferences I got to go to, the more people I got to meet, the more I wanted more of that, because it's something different every day. When you're coming and sitting down at your desk and working on the computer for 8 hours, it can be draining, and there are different challenges that every day brings, but being out there and, I love driving, being in the car and seeing the sights and, it's just a whole nother level of it.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. So what was your first impression then of Boshart when you worked as a rep? What would you say was your first initial thought?
So it's kind of funny. The first trip to a manufacturer I ever took was to Boshart. Hey. So I started in my job, and a few months later we came out here. It was 8 years ago. It looked a lot different here then than it does now. And everyone that I met was just so nice. And every time that I called for something, I got answers. Yep. I really feel and I always felt like Boshart really cares about our customers, And so when the opportunity arose for me to be a part of that, I had to do it. I had to join. It's just a really high caliber team,
Yeah, for sure. So you kind of said that we were the first manufacturer you visited. So maybe how did working with multiple manufacturers shape your view of sales?
I think that when you work with multiple manufacturers, it can be challenging to allot the appropriate amount of time to each of those manufacturers because, you've got all these different agendas and priorities from all these different areas, and they're all important, but you have to kind of prioritize. You've got to deal with conflicts because sometimes, you're I was repping multiple lines, and they would introduce a new product, which, you know, one or two others already had. So now I've got 3 ball valves to sell, and how do you decide? And,
Right.
you know, so being an independent rep with, you know, a couple dozen manufacturers, it's just got a lot more of conflict management and prioritization and stuff.
Right.
Being able to just work for Boshart, I have one line that I have to worry about. I feel like I can learn more than I ever have been able to about, you know, the products themselves, and be able to speak as, you know, an expert someday, hopefully.
Right.
So it's been, I feel like it's been great for my brain.
Yes.
Because I just can focus a lot better. You know, because I'm not as fractured.
Like when you have to focus on so many different, you said multiple manufacturers, right? It's like it's hard to learn so much about it. We hear at Boshart of so many different products, and to even just learn about each of those, it does take quite a bit of time.
It does.
And I guess you just kind of learn that as you go, right? Like that's the best way to do it. And so maybe one thing that surprised you about working at Boshart, because you did kind of work with Boshart, but now being on the team, what would you say surprised you the most?
I think kind of like how easy it has been to just get integrated with the team. I mean, I get along with everybody, and, you know, it's just the team that I'm on, the Northeast team with Adam and Sean, and then the Central team I work with because of Michigan. And we just all work really well together. You know, if you have a question or a problem, you can easily reach out to numerous people to get help or an answer. I kind of had high expectations before I started, and the fact that like none of them have been let down at all has been delightful.
Yeah, really
good.
It's
really great. So
that's good. So let's maybe just shift gears a tiny bit, but do you want to touch on what you think makes a great salesperson in this specific industry?
I think having a positive attitude, caring about what you're doing, and following up are like really the keys. You know, your attitude totally drives where your interactions with customers go.
Yep.
100%. Even if you're having a bad day, like you gotta put on a smile. You gotta be positive.
Yep.
Good things happen when you put good out there. I really believe in.
Do you have maybe any tricks of like, if you are having a bad day, you need to have a positive attitude. Do you have any tricks about like maybe how you would handle a situation, or, you know, you're sitting in the car and you got to give yourself a pep talk? How would you?
Honestly, music is the way for me. When I'm on the road driving between appointments, like I'm pretty sure I'm having a concert in my car. Like I'll sing along or whatever. I mean, I definitely have some songs that I can play that really will hype me up and just put me in a great headspace. And you know, another way would be, you know, say if I'm in New York driving through the Adirondacks, right? Maybe things are not great. There's so much nature and like beauty in all 3 of the states that I cover that I could take a little 5-minute detour here or there, you know, just be outside for a minute, be near water, like just kind of center myself again. You know, that's another way.
Put yourself back into that headspace. And then, sometimes you need a little bit of that separation, right? A little bit of a reminder,
like a reset.
And just like that the pressure is, you know, you just gotta level yourself out, right? And then and then you can go into a situation like that, right? And so that is great. So maybe what is the most difficult objection you hear regularly?
I feel like the most common objection is pricing.
Okay.
You know, because that's the easiest objection. You know, you can say that a price is too high, but when you get into features and benefits and you start comparing that, it's a lot harder to object to when you have so many reasons, you know, beyond a price that you should buy a product. So I feel like price is the thing that's easiest for them to object with, but not the best or the most important necessarily. You know? So, I could see where that matters in some cases, but
And how would you navigate a conversation like that? Like, do you have a tool that you kind of use to help with that situation?
I think I really just try to focus on the benefit of the product, you know, how it's going to solve a problem that they've got, the support that I can provide personally, but also Boshart as a company, you know, our fill rates, how fast we ship, there's a lot of different added value that we provide.
Right.
And I feel like those things can really overcome the price, because when a customer really thinks about, plus like, minimal warranties, like they think about kind of after they place the order, what kind of follow-up is there going to be? They know that I'm going to call them back.
Right.
That could drive it over the line. They might not care about, the 10 cents or whatever it is.
Right. Show them the Boshart difference.
Absolutely.
Right. What we can do that's just not
Yep.
the price, like what other things that we can offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. What's the best sales advice then that you have ever received?
So actually, okay. So when I started my last job, my first day, I actually got great advice from my boss, and she said, "You're going to fail. At some point, you're going to fail. It might be expensive, but it's okay.
Yep.
Because we will all fail. You have to fail to like grow, kind of." So by kind of telling me that right up front, she took all the pressure off of worrying about, am I pricing this right? And obviously you want to be accurate and it matters, but to know that this is something that other people have done before, it's totally acceptable. We're going to work through it. We're going to learn from it, grow from it. It just made it way less pressure. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So
is that something that you would share with others, or do you find another thing that you would share with somebody first starting out?
I mean, I might not share that in this situation, because that was like inside sales. But I don't know, advice. I think my biggest piece of advice is to follow up and to pick up the phone. I mean, emailing people is easy. You can send out 100 emails. Taking the time to make a phone call and talk to somebody provides a lot more of a connection than just an email. And that they're receiving the message the way you're saying it versus typing it, and they're reading it. And, so it really, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and make a phone call, or go walk in the door and meet somebody, and always have an appointment.
Yes.
Don't show up, have an appointment.
Yes. Being personable is a huge thing that people really enjoy, right?
Definitely.
And they like to talk not just about products or different things like that. They want to have like a genuine conversation about the weather or the football game or anything like that, right?
Yep.
They want to have like a genuine conversation, and you can't really get that over email.
No.
So a phone call in person.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned that you travel a lot and you love to do it. How would you say you stay organized when you are doing so much traveling?
So I really map out what I'm going to do in advance. I actually go into Google Maps like every morning, and I put in all my stops for the day so that it's just there and I don't have to worry about it. Sometimes if I'm really planning ahead, I'll store them all the different days right on my phone, so I can just hit it and go. And it really like using, our CRM, I use that all the time. I set reminders for myself. I put my notes in there. And that's really the basics of it. Just figuring out where I'm going to go, and then going there.
And having one less thing to worry about, right?
Definitely.
And then when you leave somewhere, you know exactly where you plan to go.
Where I'm going, how long it takes to get there. I build in extra time, Yeah.
When can you get food? Bathroom breaks.
Sometimes, I'll tell you, the first couple trips didn't really think about the whole lunch thing, and was like, oh, I guess I'm going to get fast food.
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't eaten in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are just things, I guess, that you would never think about until you really start to do it, right? And then you kind of figure it out, and then you can plan accordingly.
Yep.
So staying on the travel route, can you maybe share with us your craziest travel story that has happened while working in sales?
Yeah.
One that you can share with us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is not super crazy, but it is one that happened since I started with Boshart.
Yep.
I was in El Paso, Texas, traveling with one of my coworkers there. And it was the day before I was supposed to go home. And I got a text message from my godmother first thing in the morning. And she went, "Oh, I'm so sorry. How long are you going to be stuck in El Paso?" And I went, "What?" I have no idea what she's talking about. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And she said, "They closed the airspace. It's going to be closed for a week." And I went, "I'm not staying in El Paso for a week." I had to get home for another event or something. But I looked it up. I found the same thing that she said. I rebooked my hotel. I rented a car, and I rebooked my flights out of Albuquerque because Albuquerque is the closest because the next closest airport in Texas is like 8 hours away.
Yep.
Albuquerque was, I think, 3 hours. So I got to add another state. So that was my first time in Albuquerque. I got to add another state on. And the drive from El Paso to Albuquerque was amazing. It was so beautiful. It was like the sun was setting near the end of it.
Nice.
It was through mountains. It turned out to be awesome.
Yes.
Now, right after I rebooked all of it, they reopened the airspace.
Of course.
But I just stuck with my plans because, yeah.
Yeah, and it turned out to be something kind of cool. And
It
now
was
you
awesome.
can check that off your list.
Yes. Yeah. Check off New Mexico. I've been there now.
Yes, nice.
Yeah.
So then maybe if you could touch on what was the best city for food when you've been traveling for work.
So I would say there are a lot of really good food cities in New
Yeah.
York and in Michigan. I'm going to answer this with a restaurant because there's a place in Michigan called Anna's House. They've got, I think, 5 or 6 restaurants kind of in the middle of Michigan. The best orange juice I've ever had in my life, fresh squeezed orange juice. The best pancakes I've ever had in my entire life. Like the golden pancakes that are crispy on the edge and like soft and delicious in the middle. And then they have this stuff called $1 billion bacon.
Okay.
Which is like candied bacon coated in espresso dust. Like, who comes up with this? And I don't like coffee, but it was amazing.
But
it was delicious.
really good.
Yeah. So every time I'm in Michigan, I try to go to Anna's house for one meal.
Okay.
While I'm there.
Are you a breakfast person?
I
Is
love
that your
breakfast.
preferred?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a food person, let's be
Yes.
honest, but I definitely love breakfast. Breakfast for dinner. Totally acceptable.
All times.
Yep.
Love
Yep,
that. I
big
love
fan.
that answer. So this is a fun one. What's one stereotype about New Yorkers that is completely true?
All right. So I would say this is a hard question.
Okay.
One reason is because there are definitely different types of New Yorkers.
Yep.
So the way I'm going to answer this is a safe way, which is that there's one football team in New York, and that's the Buffalo Bills. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
That is a good answer. It's a good answer.
You can't argue with it. It's true.
You can't. You can't. Okay, so then what would be the most memorable customer interaction you've ever had?
So I think it was a month or 2 ago, I was having a meeting with a customer. It was the first time I had physically met this person before. I'd talked to them a bunch, but one of their customers walked in with a cutting board and gave it to the person I was meeting with. And it was a like beautiful handmade cutting board. And he kind of looks at me and is like, "What's the good word?" I was like, "Oh, I'm, talking about Boshart." And he reaches in his bag and he pulls out another cutting board and he goes, "This is for you." And he gave me a cutting board.
Wow.
So I guess he's been a customer for many, many years. I think he's retired and he makes cutting boards and like just gave me one. It was
amazing.
It was beautiful.
He carries them around with him.
Well, he was bringing them for the customer. Maybe he carries them all the time.
Maybe.
Hey,
In the off chance he sees somebody that could use a cutting board.
I'm sure that's what it is.
That is a very cool story. I like that.
Yeah.
Last travel question.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten completely lost while you've been traveling?
No.
You're good with a GPS. You're good with travel.
I mean, my GPS has cut out before. I have had a moment of panic of like, what am I going to do? But I think I know kind of, if I know where I am in the state, then I can at least figure out which direction to go to find like civilization. But also with the car that I have now, it has the GPS in it. So even if my phone won't do the connecting, it will work.
You have a backup.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have an SOS button. So
So you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we slowly wrap up here, I do have a surprise. We're going to do some rapid fire questions.
Oh boy.
So these are really tough questions for you to answer. Super tough. I have a really special envelope I'm going to be handed here.
Okay.
So quick thinking, quick answers.
Fast.
See, here's
Hold on,
my
let me
very
get
special top secret envelope here.
I love everything about that envelope. Look at it. It
So-
almost matches my nails.
Yeah, it does. We planned that accordingly.
It's beautiful.
Okay, here we go. So you already kind of mentioned this, so I probably can guess this answer, but coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
Early morning or late night flight?
Early morning.
Phone calls or emails?
Phone calls.
Trade show or location visits?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I like both, but
Okay, you can say both.
okay, both.
Music or podcasts?
Music.
Favorite state to visit for work? Michigan because of the orange juice?
Yeah, probably. That's a good point. Yeah.
This is a tough one. Yeah. Buffalo Bills or Green Bay Packers?
I'm not even going to answer that because it's offensive.
I know. I told her that when
Bills.
she wrote the question. Window seat or aisle?
Window.
Barbecue or pizza?
Barbecue.
Ooh. Most used app on your phone?
Oh, boy. It's probably Facebook.
Facebook?
Instagram, too, though. I love Instagram.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite road trip snack?
Oh, man. Probably Pringles.
Good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Bucket hat or ball cap?
I don't really wear either, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be a ball cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandals with or without socks?
No.
I sometimes wear socks.
No, it's fine. It's not for me.
I'm in Canada. I get cold sometimes.
New York gets cold too.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I still wear my Birks out in the snow.
Yeah. Virtual meeting or in-person meeting?
In person.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Summer or winter traveling?
Oh, traveling summer.
Traveling
but
in summer.
Season winter.
Okay.
Because I'd rather be cold.
Yep.
Than hot.
That's fair. And that's when the Bills play.
The Bills, yes.
So that's
glorious.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's it. Erika, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Awesome.